Pine Hill. There's local Pine Hill Police. Mr.
Pine Hill Police.
Barney Fife.
Hello, Barney. Get that sign. Get that sign.
There it is. Welcome to Pine Hill. Here we are going to downtown Pine Hill. We're tracing the steps of our
forefathers.
Our forefathers. Uncle Joe. He did. Remember there's a DVD floating around. I think I have a copy of it.
I have a copy myself.
And from 8mm going down doing this ride basically. And we should be coming up on...
I actually have a Stag film on 8mm. Was that the same reel?
Yeah, I think it was. Millie Wadler's house coming up. I think that was Millie Wadler's house right there. That used to be a gas station over there.
Tanglewood doors. Anybody need a garage door here in Pine Hill?
Garage door in Pine Hill?
Do they have garages in Pine Hill? I know they have garages.
I don't know. I'm not sure. We are coming up on beautiful downtown. That was like a hopping bar at one time over here.
That's
Pine
the
Hill
Arms.
Yeah.
And they're still open for business.
Really?
There's the community center.
Oh, look at that. They got a sale going on. We'll stop and go to the sale.
Yeah, we'll stop
Look
by.
at that beautiful blue building there.
That used to be Frank and Joe and Mary, Frank and Mary's on the left.
Right, right.
That used to be a restaurant
Pine
right
Hill
there. There's
Roost.
nothing doing.
This used to be Duty's, right?
Well, Duty's is right there. It's a bookstore now. We're going to get more pictures later.
All right. There's Claudi's Bar.
Was Claudi's Bar. And,
still for sale?
This was an Indian restaurant for years.
All right.
And it's now...
Park and walk around a little bit?
We're going to head up. We're going to come down.
Okay.
We're going to park up there.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Walking, yeah.
Good deal.
Actually, we could park here.
Pine Hill Arms. Yeah, we could park and just walk up there or something.
I'd rather park there because we can do the dump.
Oh, okay.
I have to take a dump. We're going to dump at the dump.
Okay.
Do you have any toilet paper?
Yeah. The museum. There's a museum down there.
Yeah, it's a very, very famous museum.
Pine Hill Museum.
It's known from Bonneville Avenue all the way to the old Turnpike.
Yeah, look at that. The old Turnpike.
The old Turnpike differentiated.
As opposed to the new Turnpike.
The new Turnpike is Mill Street.
This was Clarence's brother's house. I forget what his name was over there.
Look at that place.
I remember him yelling at us a couple of times.
They haven't put a nickel in that place in like 50 years.
No.
Coming up on Old Mill Street.
Mill Street.
We're going to do Station Road.
Yeah, let's do Station Road. Local Pine Hiller.
Hello.
Put the window down here.
So, you know, she didn't look at us. That means she's a tourist.
Now this house here, on the right here, that was for sale for $3,000 back in the day. Because I remember Seymour Goldman looking at that, and I remember the price was $3,000 for that place.
In other words, what's in your wallet right now?
Yeah.
What's in your wallet?
I think that's my electric bill now.
Oh, okay.
$3,000.
Look at that wraparound porch.
Beautiful. That's very nice. They did a nice job in that place.
Nice job.
All right, we're coming up on Clarence's house.
Clarence is here?
I don't know if he's still there.
I'm looking for him rocking on the front porch.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling it.
I think that was his house here, or did they knock it down? I
don't know. We're coming up on the church. It's now used as a storage facility for lawn equipment.
Yeah, yeah.
There's your church right there.
There's the church. Yeah. And John Walter's house is over there.
Yeah, former Walter Mansion is on the right.
Yeah. Now
we're going to walk down here later. We're going to take.
All right.
I'm just going to leave the car and do some serious walking.
We're blocked off. Here we are. Going up Station Road.
Heading up Station Road.
Should be a very familiar sight. This is Mr. Hoffman's house.
Hoffman Estates.
Old Jewish guy used to yell at us for throwing stuff in the water over here.
Okay. Coming up on Wurzburger Mansion on the left.
Wurzburgers.
Now, if you see that pool has been there since the 20s or 30s. It's been there forever.
Yeah.
Owned by a bunch of Germans.
The Deutsche.
Hey, there's a car there. I think we're going to get in.
Save the Mountain, whatever that is. And here we are coming up on the Ponderosa.
On the Ponderosa. And there's that beautiful house
look
I
at
was
this.
telling you
And
about.
here's the house built
Doesn't
where
get any better than that.
George Crumb's trailer was. Look at this. This is where George Crumb's trailer was. How do you like that? Coming down Station Road to John Walter's house, or where Walter's house was. Clarence's house is gone. They put up that other place. Here's the old church. Crucifix is still up there, but they store stuff in it. There's the old creek. That was some kind of guest house. It looks kind of abandoned. It's for sale. Nola Gutman. Back there. Here's John Walters' old house. It used to be, I don't know if you remember, it used to be like an old hotel. And they had.
It's like the same house. They just built a garage next to it.
Yeah, but it used to be like a hotel almost.
You think that's
The old. This is the house across the street from across the street from the church, right next to John Walters' house, where John Walters' house was.
For sale.
And it's for sale. It's in pretty bad disrepair right now, as you can see. I remember coming over here as a kid and actually hanging out on that porch.
You do?
Yeah, I remember coming over here. The guy had a couple of grandkids, and when they were here, me and John would come over there and talk to them.
Huh.
They were a little annoying, but yeah.
Only a bulb.
Here we are inside the church that we used to go to. All the beautiful icons are on the ceiling and in the back there. But as you can see, it is now being used to breed rabbits or some kind of farm life. Just talking to the people.
Wow.
Fred Claudy's wife is still alive. How do you like that? Okay.
He knows them very well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody
yeah.
knows everybody.
These are the steps to Clarence's house. Clarence's house is gone, but the steps remain.
Look at that. Yeah, the steps between houses.
Yeah.
She said she had to have it knocked
They
down.
had to have it knocked down because they couldn't get a mortgage with Clarence's house up. Coming upon the house that was $3,000 back in the day that Seymour Goldman was looking at. Can you imagine? $3,000. That would have been a deal. Write him a check right now.
Write him a check. Wait a minute, I'll check my...
Here's Lowell Smith's house.
That would be Lowell Smith's house.
And this is historic places. The Mill Street Stone Bridge. There we go. Matthew Thompson.
Yeah.
I think Guidell is still there. This is Clarence's brother's place.
Just
Walking downtown now. Approaching the downtown area.
That's never changed. The town's got like, 2 cars in it. Yeah, this was a liquor store. It's now an art studio, basically.
Oh, okay. Prints by Tony Giannetti.
Yeah, that was a Pine Hill liquor store right here.
Okay.
Here's where we do a lot of serious fishing.
Yeah, we used to do some fishing off this bridge down there. There was some trout down there.
And suckers, too.
Suckers, yeah, I remember that. This bridge looks like it's seen better days. Oh, a little pathway.
The path is kind of gone.
Yeah. Okay.
One more path. And as you look,
Nice shot of it.
1790. Now,
Colonial Inn, rooms and food, $17.90.
look at how many times it's been built on upon, see it?
Yeah. Grand Buffet, open Saturday. There's Claudy's Bar. It's for sale.
I'm going to show you where the stone, I'm sorry,
Here we are at the beautiful Pine Hill Library.
that is beautiful.
It's a beautiful building. Like Nun said, didn't really appreciate it as kids, but it's actually a beautiful architecture.
By the way, it's called the
Morton
Memorial Library.
Morton Memorial Library.
Get that house on the left. Okay?
Welcome to Pine Hill. We're over by the swimming hole now. There's that A-frame with a really steep roof line.
Actually, we're in Switzerland at the
Yeah.
Ski Chalet.
The Harvey E. Smith Memorial Park at Pine Hill. And the swimming hole is now tennis courts and swings. And the tennis courts look pretty unkept. So it's quite the shame. Nothing is the same. Oh well. Millie Wadler's house. That was Millie Wadler's house. We heard she's gone. Millie bit the bullet. She's at the big realtor in the sky. This was the butcher shop years ago.
Yep.
There's a butcher shop right here in this white building here by Delora Pines. Exclusive. Look at that shop.
Why don't we go in there, see if we can get a... Is it unoccupied? There's a car driving
It's a place next to Millie Wadler's house.
I think there might be people.
I think somebody still lives in there. Yeah, look at this old caddy convertible.
Caddy.
Yeah, it's like an old 71, 72 maybe.
Look at that boat.
Needs some work.
That's a boat.
Needs a little work.
It'll take a little work to get that thing floating.
There's the nuns.
Hello.
We are at the end of the road where
The road.
the lake was. We used to go through here. All these trees, of course, were not here back in the day to get to the lake. The lake, yeah, it looks like it's a pretty nice lake for the trees. We used to go fishing down there. But
Get a shot at the stop sign. That's where it all ends, probably.
yeah, there it is. Unbelievable. Okay, we cut through the fence and we are coming upon the lake in Pine Hill. It looks pretty nice. It's quite different than when it was before the dam broke back in the 60s. It looks a lot smaller than I remember it. That could be. But here we are. It's a nice, looks like white sands. The white sands of Pine Hill. You've heard about them? Well, here they are.
Well, as I'm concerned, it could be in Bermuda now. I wouldn't know.
You've heard of the Bermuda pink sands and the black sands
Yeah.
of Waikiki?
Yeah.
These are the very rare white sands of Pine
White
Hill.
sands of Pine Hill.
Along the pastoral vista and the arboreal dell
Yeah, only
in the
difference is-
background that you can see overlooking the white sands of Pine Hill.
I understand since it's Pine Hill, when you sit on the beach, you got a splinter in your ass.
That's right. You got to sign a waiver before
Exactly.
you go on the beach. All right. This is what was Salamoni's house.
Yeah, I call it the
It
Salamoni
used to be one story,
Gardens.
yellow. And you cross over that driveway up that path into that yard, and you used to get to the bunny trail, which led to the back by the cottage.
You gotta go look for the cottages.
Okay, these were the bungalows that Mike and Richie lived in, Salamoni's cousins, Bunny and whatever the other one was called.
Bunny, Jeanette, Dominic,
And what was
Rich-
Richie's?
Richie?
They had a name for him too.
Fat.
No, I forget. Here we are coming up Mill Street. There's the railroad tracks,
There's the track.
trestle. We used to have banisters, but it's long gone. Long, long gone. Here we are at the Ponderosa. Here's Uncle Al's shed. Here's where the cottage used to be. Giant mature trees now occupy that space. Here's the foundation for the cottage. Right here. Here it is. Yep. Oh yeah. Still have looks like the stove or washing machine or something like that from the old cottage is still here. How do you like that? And here's the way down to the bunny trail. Many, many years ago. Many years ago. A lot has changed. And a lot has stayed the same here. There's the nuns.
We didn't put nothing.
There's the
I mean nothing.
roof is shot.
But at least they got
They got
a
an
dish.
antenna.
At least they got the Dish Network.
the
That's all
Dish
I care
Network.
about. Yeah. Plenty of movies. We didn't put a nickel into the house.
No. Here's where we used to hunt bats.
The bat hunt was right there. You remember these trees weren't like this either. That thing kind of stood by itself, you know?
Yeah. No more trailer. All gone.
We're rolling. It really looks gross.
We're rolling now. Here we are.